I think this is a big statement year for the defensive line and the defensive line coach, Freddie Roach, in the eyes of Alabama fans. He's done a really good job recruiting. But I think it's fair to say that either we've missed on guys in our evaluation, or we're not developing those guys at a good enough rate. So I think this is a big statement season for Freddie Roach and the Alabama defensive line. What's your thoughts on that, real quick?
Yeah, how long has he been? He's been coaching the defensive line down there. It's been several years,
handful of years, four years maybe,
4 or 5. So, this feels like a statement year for him. Now, I know everybody. We talk about people were talking about we missed on Peter Woods, which I kind of agree with. But James Smith.
Before you said, we signed like 4 of the top 18 defensive linemen in last year's class. I mean, I don't. To me, it's not a recruiting thing.
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
It's not a recruiting thing. I really don't. And sure, there's been a couple guys that we haven't gotten, but you don't get everybody.
No, you don't.
You don't get everybody. Nope. And so then it comes down to development. And look, I love Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach was a heck of a player for Alabama in his time, and he's an Alabama guy, and I want him to succeed. So I hope and I pray that he gets it done, and this defensive line gets it done this year. So it kind of shuts up a lot of people.
Yeah, and if it's development, I will say that, but we talk about he could have come in, he could have been a first or second round pick, but the injuries, Freddie Roach can't help injuries happen. But on the flip side, you got to have that next guy step up and play once the injury happens. So kind of the injuries on that defensive, line has kind of hurt too. But while he's been there, I mean, Quentin Williams has been outstanding. We saw Christian Barmore come on the scene, guys like that. So there's being playmakers there. It's just coaching or maybe development hasn't been on all of them, but it has worked on some from time to time. I don't know.
I could be wrong. I don't think Roach was there for Quentin Williams.
Yeah, I don't think he was. Yeah,
I think he was for Barmore, but I don't think he was for Quentin Williams. I'd have to go back and look. It's the years run together now. But
15 years of it.
And I'll be honest, I don't blame fans for being disgruntled about the defensive line performance. Look, when you're Alabama and you recruit the way Alabama recruits, and you're used to the development that Alabama develops, every couple of years you better have an elite defensive lineman, and we have not had one since Christian Barmore. And he wasn't even elite, Jake. He was a second-round pick.
Yeah, you're right.
He was really good. There's no doubt. But he was not elite. He wasn't a Jalen Carter. He wasn't a Trayvon Walker that Georgia's put out the last couple cycles. So it's time to put up if you're Freddie Roach. It's time to show what you can do. And I'm not calling him out. I'm really not trying to anyways, because like I said, I love Freddie Roach. He's an Alabama dude through and through. So I want it to work out, and I think this is a big year. To me, Tim Smith is a guy that he better have a big year.
Yeah.
He better. That's just my opinion. Or James Smith better step up and prove why he was a 5-star talent. And I think Freddie Roach is in what they would call a contract year, in my opinion.